I made the thing. Hello everyone, it is Kirakaya back here to read you a bedtime story that might put you to sleep forever. It's been one heck of a tiring week, and you could say I have a little insomnia. Please laugh. So as you may know, there's a little game coming out called Marvel Spider-Man 2 developed by Insomniac Games. It's a little bit of a deal happening. I don't know, maybe you never heard of it. I haven't. But it's a sequel to a game that came out, hence the name 2. And you might need a little bit of a refresher on because it's been like a few years since the game came out. So I'm gonna let my friends over at Mintjoy Pictures do that for me because I'm a little tired right now.
Alright then. The story takes place in New York City. You play as Peter Parker. Age 23, he's been Spider-Man for 8 years at this point. Fortunately, after several years of political corruption and controversies, he'll finally see the fall of the Kingpin, also known as Wilson Fisk. Just as the NYPD arrests him, however, a new threat arises, the Sinister Six. With this new group causing even more chaos across the city, it is up to Spider-Man to take down each of the members and save the day. Now onto Miles Morales. It's been about a year since the events of Spider-Man PS4. This time you play as Miles. Age 17, he's just trying to find this place in Harlem, during which chaos ensues by a new group known as the Underground. It is soon up to Miles to learn how to keep his secret of being Spider-Man safe while dealing with this new threat. And in Spider-Man 2, we follow back to Peter Parker, where he's about to fight his biggest threat yet, 19 inches of venom. Wait, what? Who wrote this?
Yeah, I put that in there. Wait.
Did you mention
No, I didn't say
inches?
anything. So this video is dropping on the day the game actually releases because, well, I need to capitalize on everything I can because my YouTube career, it just doesn't exist. So I spent what felt like my entire life, and I probably took like 5 years off my life doing this project to try and get this done on time. And before we start talking about it, I'm just gonna let Akemi do her thing.
Greetings, children. I am Akemi. If you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications to get notified of every upload, or else, well, you will face the consequences.
Alright, now that that's over, let's talk about how I made this stupid little thing already. To start off, the very first thing I made for this suit was this face shell. I printed this face shell at a 100% infill setting on my Ender 3. This face shell lens file was created by some doofus named KaCosplayTech on Instagram and Etsy. I'll leave both links down below for some reason. I'm just kidding, his stuff's actually good, please don't hurt me. And I also attempted to print my frames too, but they kept getting so messed up no matter how many times I changed them in settings that I just could not get them to go. So I had my buddy Best Pilot in the Galaxy on Instagram resin print these for me. Because I'm so incompetent at printing frames that I ate the last ones. After going through printing hell, I used my trusty Craftsman palm sander to sand down the face shell. And I blasted it with Flex Seal to have a nice grip on the mask and prevent it from catching on there and prevent it from having leaks. Even underwater! And while I was waiting for that to dry, I used my Rust-Oleum white primer to prime the frames a while. And then I ran out of it while I was doing it and I didn't have anything else. I said, screw it! We're going primerless, baby! And that we did. So I put my Krylon Gloss Black on there and it turned out fantastic.
Frames.
It's magnificent.
And finally, I hit my frames with my beautiful Krylon Gloss Clear Coat. And man, did these frames turn out super smooth. If only my future looked this smooth. Unfortunately, I was unable to capture footage of me cutting out the mesh because, well, it sucked. But after that, I used my knife to make an outline on the PET G sheets, that way I could cut out that for the frames. And using my handy dandy scissors, I cut them out of the sheets, that way I had two nice and fresh frame thingies that make things look shiny. Whoa! And make sure you peel off the protective plastic sheet on the PETG so that way it doesn't look as scuffed as that hobo that I bought for money yesterday. And after that painful process, I finally got my mesh painted with my Rust-Oleum white and then my Krylon Gloss Clear after that. Because I'm an unnecessary whore! And now that the Flex Seal's dry, I can finally apply my goofy little magnets using my Gorilla Glue. And I'm using the cap here to press it down so that way I don't get this stupid little gunk on my fingers. And all that's left to do now is final assembly of the lenses. So I peeled off the protective layer of the PET G and got those ready to glue down. And I placed it inside the frame and then I put put the mesh in, and then I just hot glued the whole thing together. Then I threw in the magnets with my super glue, and then bada boop, the frames are finally done. And the next thing I want to talk about are these dinky little web shooters I did. First of all, I had these resin printed by my buddy ATX Spider because I still don't own a resin printer, even though I keep spending hundreds of dollars on pretty dresses because I am a fucking slut. So they got all resin printed, and then it went straight to paint. Just like the frames, I skipped the primer and went straight to the Rust-Oleum metallic silver that I used. And it laid down beautifully considering the fact that I didn't use my Krylon gloss black base layer that I always do for metallics. It probably helps that the paint already has primer inside of it. And please don't be a dum-dum and paint the underside of your stuff. It's gonna look nasty if you don't. Then I threw some duplicolor metal cast red onto the body of the web shooters for this beautiful, beautiful red. I'm so happy with how this stuff looked. And you have to be light with it because it's very runny stuff, so don't overdo it. And for the black details of the body, I used this Creative airbrush black pearlized paint. I thought it looked neat. And I totally wasn't using the same black that I was trying to use to put a shadow on the lens, but I failed miserably at because I was too busy thinking about that orphanage I want to burn down. I applied it by hand by using a really thin paintbrush, and I did it in about 2 coats. Just gotta have time, patience, and God. And in order to assemble everything together, I used a JB Weld 2-part epoxy. Because standard super glue and hot glue, it just ain't gonna cut it. And then finally, I hit the whole thing with 2K clear coat, and you may be asking yourself, why did you use 2K? It cost $1 more billion. Well, simple. I was painting parts of my Iron Man suit while I was doing these, so I said, screw it, I'll just do this because I already have it on the go. I might as well make it look pretty because I'm doing all this. And then I realized I forgot to pay my rent for the month, and then I got evicted. I stole the house back. And lastly, I threw together a cheap band using some elastic and magnets, super glue those on, bada bing, bada boom, they're done! Dang, with all this work that I'm doing with this, I need some energy, dude. Like, oh my god, just like, so tiring. Sponsor time. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you know that I think GamerSupps absolutely hits. With their 0 calories and 0 sugars. It tastes absolutely fantastic with no chalky taste, and it's keto friendly. It's great for any spiky activities including gaming and breaking your back doing a front flip. My back! And today is your lucky day because there's a new flavor dropping as this video comes out. It's a pear flavor called Soda Press Despair, and god does this look cute. And 1 out of every 10 tubs will have a limited edition label on it, so what are you waiting for? Go to the link down below and use code KIRAKAYA for 10% off your entire purchase at gamersupps.gg, and you can even pick yourself up a waifu cup or some sweet merch. Now back to suffering. And then the final big kahuna. The main event. So this whole suit pattern was by ATX Spider on Instagram and Etsy. I'll have both of those down there too. So after HeroStime.com, link down below, sent this to me in only 2 weeks, I got right to work. Kind of. So I actually got these really neat urethane emblems I bought from T-Jack Effects for $175. They were too small like my mental health. They were smaller than my last 5 brain cells. So yeah, that was a waste of $175. So anyway, time for puff paint. For all the details, I used the connect the dot method. So basically, I would make a bunch of dots in certain places where I would connect all the lines to get the general shape of the item. And I connected it all up like I'm back in 1st grade. I might as well be there anyway. I brought ATX Spidey over to my house so that way I could learn how to puff paint. And we finished the entire back emblem in 1 night. He was also kind enough to lend me his mannequin so that way I could do all this puff painting. And you know what? I don't think I'm gonna return it. I'll keep this. And then I filled in the spaces with the actual puffy paint bottle with some really thick lines. It was the same method for all the white parts, the spiders, gauntlets, and other crap. And don't forget to use 90% rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips so that way that you can get rid of any puffy paint problems. Whether that's a shit smear or a misalignment. Each emblem only took 1 night to complete, the gauntlets took 2, and the wrist and belt details took 1 night as well. And then after that I puff painted all the black borders and outlines on the suit. I had to debate to do it because Insomniac is more indecisive than me at the grocery store, picking between Stouffer's and Banquet, even though both meals I'm going to be sad. So I decided to go with black because it helps offset the whites and everything on there, and it just looks really neat on there. And if for some reason Insomniac decides to go with silver or decides to go with white, I guess I'll just puff paint over it. And also I forgot to record the border section because you understand how puff paint works after watching that. Oh yeah, I also did the little web shooter strap too because that's a neat addition, right? I'm using my Elfette Spidey painted muscle suit on this because, well, Insomniac Spidey, He is a massive boy, and I want him to pin me down on the bed and absolutely fucking rape. And with all this work that I put into a suit, this is like the most work I've ever put into a suit myself. So I'm very proud of how this turned out, especially my first time puff painting literally anything. You could probably expect to see it in a future issue of Creative Cosplay Magazine, this cool thingy thing that I'm in. Look at all the Spidey goodness on there. It's just really great to have a magazine for cosplayers by cosplayers. So if you're interested, you can pick this up online using a link down below. Like I said, there's multiple issues. I'll have links to each individual one for purchase. But with everything being said there, I think it's time to finally show you guys the suit and everything like that. So let's just get to the fun stuff. Big shout out to Out of Time Productions on Instagram for helping me out with that shoot, because I was running around like a mad dog trying to find a videographer because everyone was too busy actually having fun at NYCC. Meanwhile, I'm over here suffering like every day. But yeah, he's a goat, awesome guy. Go check him out. Like I said before, I'll have everything in the description if you want to get a suit like this for yourself. Oh yeah, and face reveal, I guess, because, well, I'd stopped caring. And also a few people say I kind of look like him. I don't really see the resemblance, but whatever. I'm not afraid of not wearing the mask when I'm femme. I'm just don't feel like putting on full makeup. But yeah, this is what I look like as femme with makeup on. I look pretty smoking hot. Yeah, so the shoot went great. The web cheer is disintegrated like a 20-year-old goldfish cracker that's been sitting in the back seat of a soccer mom's minivan. Now, I blame this on the thinness of the file. It's a pretty old file, so fair enough. It's not anything Hexadic did. It's just the nature of it. I expected it to happen. And also, my magnets skipped leg day a few times. Overall, I'm very happy with how everything turned out. It's great. Okay, everything's over. Go check out my sponsors down below. Go check out my other socials. Until next time, I'm gonna hope that Insomniac is watching this video, because I would like a 19 inches of Venom statue for my hard work and giving all my money to you. I am in severe credit card debt. Full cosplay music video coming soon.